life years ago. Many of you know this story. I was originally practicing law. I had gone through like all the education and all the schooling, but I was really miserable with my life and where I was. I did everything according to what I thought I needed to what my parents said I needed to do, what society said I needed to do, what all the world probably, you have heard says this is what you need to do to move ahead. And I wound up, doing everything that I thought would make me happy, and I wound up just completely miserable. I ended up having a marriage that ended. I went through a divorce. I was stuck financially. The most I was ever able to earn was something like 60, maybe 70,000 a year. With all those advanced degrees and with a lot of time and energy, for me, I didn't understand why I was struggling so much. I couldn't figure it out. And in 2008, I had a moment, right, where the veil or reality cracked open. I had a motorcycle accident. Many of you have heard the story. And in that moment, I went over the handlebars and I blacked out going about 50 miles an hour as I hit the ground. And I just literally went to another space, another realm. Now, this realm that I went into was something that I had tapped into before. The mystics have called this samadhi. This, I think, was why I had the motorcycle accident because I had experienced through meditation and hypnosis this state where I was kind of like my highest version. I was everything that I could have ever imagined myself to be. I was my highest timeline and even more. And then I came back into the body and was locked into this timeline. And I couldn't figure out, maybe like many of you have, what happened? Where was I? Why was I feeling so much love? Why was I feeling so limitless? How do I live that in this life? And everything that I was trying to do and study and learn from seemed to just create more frustration in me. And so I was so frustrated that that's when I went on that motorcycle ride with just, the intent of escape. And I kept, as you probably remember from one of the videos I posted at UWealth, I kept going faster and faster as if I was trying to escape something, something that I didn't understand, something bigger than me that my soul knew was not a part of me, but my physical body couldn't figure it out. And so I crashed, right? I blacked out and I went back to that samadhi state for a moment. And when I came back, everything changed. I started getting ideas and visions and images of like a grid. I started getting this almost like, this series of blueprints that were coming in, like, this idea of an infinity symbol, and then all this infinity like coming down, and then this state just kind of being my natural state. But then unfortunately, here I was living in all of these oscillations. So if you imagine like a, like a graph where I'm constantly in one of these spaces here suffering, right? I'm over here, but I'm never coming back to this oneness state. Couldn't figure it out. I could never come back to just beingness. But I started getting these symbols. I started getting downloads. I started getting like a different operating system. And I started applying little things to it. I started applying a different idea, a different way of being. So, for example, thankfully, by the grace of God, because it opened up the doorway, my ex-wife filed for divorce, and that was it. And there was no way she wanted me back. And so that led me down this awakening. And you're going to find that there are things in your life that happen that seem like they just, at the time, were terrible. You probably already noticed these. Let me know in the chat if you've seen this, but yet they were actually the doorway to a higher destiny. They were actually the bridge of incidents, which is this term coined by Neville Goddard. That means that this bridge is something that is done to move you to your higher timeline. For me, that divorce was done to move you to your higher timeline, to my higher timeline. So thank you, everybody. And yeah, welcome everyone here. We've got Philip, we've got Josephine, we've got Linlay, we've got Juliana, we've got Diana. Thank you, everyone. Awesome. And we're going to unmute and chat with everybody in a moment. I just wanted to give you all the background of this story and why I'm doing this, why this came forward. So I have this accident, then the divorce, and then everything goes into a tailspin, and I don't understand why. And all of a sudden, I start trying to save my old life. Like I started trying to figure out how do I make, the marriage work? How do I, salvage what is quickly falling apart? How do I anchor back to the old timeline? Yet the universe, spirit, God, my divine self was moving me towards another timeline. And then a friend of mine asked the question, well, what if you don't go back? What if you actually just figure out what do you want and start creating that? She didn't say it like that, but she's just like, what if you don't go back, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. And all of a sudden, I started to see a 4D template of my life. I started to see a higher timeline come forward. And I immediately started to build that. And what you're going to be going through in this program are the steps that I used to build that. Now, I didn't have it called seer projector. I didn't understand reality hacking. I just started from that one bit of wisdom from that person and all of these keys and downloads that came through from the motorcycle accident, from the samadhi state, from being at a level where I had no grids or no connections to a timeline. I just was everything. I was anything I choose to be in that moment. It started coming together. So, real quick, I'll just give y'all some of the things that I did. So, immediately, I wanted to move to Austin. So I spent 3 days while I was staying with my friend in a model home that actually was available and open in the neighborhood because they were still building it out. And I found a section in the back because the neighborhood luckily had been built for a while. I just found a section where I could just hang out and work. And people would come in like, two people a day or something, and they never went upstairs. So I just worked in this model home, for about 2, 3 days. And I just felt the energy of being in my own home in a new city. And then when I went back and the lawyer said, oh, this, divorce is going to take, months and months. It's going to be really difficult. I was like, no, it's going to be done in a month. It's going to be over. And it was completely done. I felt it done. I projected myself into the timeline where it was done because I was already looking for the house in Austin. I was just looking for the place to live. And then, everything started aligning. And I'll just give you all another story about this. I wanted to move into spiritual growth and development. I wanted to be teaching this type of stuff, but I was a lawyer. I had no background in it whatsoever. I had no presence other than my own learning. I had no thing on the internet that said I even was an authority or had any reputation in this area. Every day when I was driving back and forth to the lawyer's office or driving to Austin and trying to figure out my life, I would sit in my car and I would interview every person from the movie The Secret. I interviewed them. I interviewed John Assaraf. I interviewed Mark Victor Hansen. I interviewed Jack Canfield. I interviewed Marie Diamond. I interviewed John D. Martini. I interviewed all of them in the 4D, right? As I was driving every day. And I imagined I got emails from them. I was talking to them on the phone. I imagined meeting them and hanging out. Like I began to live from that 4D template of myself. I began to live from that 12 strand version, that creation template that I had access to. The same template that they say that the Christos energy, that Christ was seeing somebody well, seeing somebody healed, seeing someone complete. So, this is actually what started my life moving forward. Now, interestingly, when I decided, okay, I'm going to see if I can really do this, I started writing all those people. And the most amazing thing is that so many of them wrote back to me and said, Darius, do I know you? I feel like we've met before. Did you ever write me before? Have we talked? And I didn't put it together at the time, but later, very soon after, I was like, oh my gosh, we did talk. It was in the 4D. It was on that higher timeline. So one more piece, and then I want to unmute the line because I want to talk to y'all. You're going to hear a lot of things in here about quantum physics. We're going to talk about quantum physics. We're going to talk about the ancient text, right? We're going to talk about the Gospel of Thomas. We're going to talk about many interesting things. But I'm going to leave you with one thought, and then I want to talk to everybody here. There is an interpretation in quantum physics that we're going to carry a lot of our focus on as we do this, and it's called the many worlds interpretation. You'll find it in the reality hacking episodes. Many worlds interpretation is not a theory, just to be clear. It's an interpretation, but it is becoming more and more of a prevalent model for people as we go through and we learn more about quantum realities. And it's supported by a lot of different quantum physics types of experiments. But many worlds interpretation is this. The moment you have a thought, the moment you have a thought and an observation, like you imagine yourself, let's say, having a beautiful beach house, as one of our members had said. And since it's coffee hour, let me take a drink of coffee. Y'all can all do the same if you brought a beverage. So the moment you imagine yourself, let's say, as one of our members said, in a beach house, right? The moment you imagine that, guess what? According to the many worlds interpretation, a version of you, a timeline of you living in that beach house has already been created, right? Because the universe is infinite. So that is already created. But here's where it gets really wild. According to the many worlds interpretation, that timeline does not just run on, but the version of you that actually observed that through your thought is now in that timeline. The end result, the timeline, and the observer of that timeline, if you're familiar with the observer effect, both go to live in that timeline. So our premise here, and you're going to get this from the first video, is that we do not look to the four kingdoms for our manifestation. We do not look to the four kingdoms. We know that manifestation operates from the quantum reality, not the material reality. And the moment you write down in your seer projector worksheet, I would like this reality, that reality has probably already been created the moment you felt it another time in your life, or the moment you really started thinking about it, it maybe during this program. So do we manifest? Not really. What do we do? Well, I use the term manifest because that's a term people can understand. But what we're really doing is we're merging with that timeline. You don't create anything. You create nothing. Everything has already been created. Do you see the shift? You take the pressure off of yourself. Creation is finished. Creation is finished. This is what Neville Goddard said. The Kabbalah says 99% of everything already exists. It has to come through you, the vessel, which is the 1%. And so all of this we're going to be talking about, but creation is finished. All we are doing is merging with the timeline. And in that merger, we become the thing. We become what we seek. We unify those two parts of ourselves, and then we say to the mountain, move, as the Gospel of Thomas says, through Jesus, and the mountain moves. So that's the 20-minute background to why I started this group. And the last thing I'm going to say really quick, and the reason this is very different than what a lot of people, creation is finished and done. Very true. Yeah, it is. It is done. We just have to merge with that version of ourselves, with that timeline. So the last thing I want to say, a lot of people in the emails that I sent out were really focused on one line. And in a very real way, this one line probably forms the basis of why this group came together. This one line is showing us something really profound. And this line goes something like this. You cannot heal, transform, shift, awaken from the same timeline that the situation or the problem or the challenge that you're trying to resolve originated from. Meaning we are going to operate from the healed timeline, from the awakened timeline, from the abundant timeline. We're going to work on whatever we need to work on from the new timeline, looking at the older timeline. In other words, we're exiting the maze. We're exiting the system that may have kept us locked down for decades. A lot of people are really good at understanding what happened in their life. Like, oh, I had a quantum miasm when I was 5. I had a, archetypal, ancestral trauma in another life. And we've been at many times like labeling and packing and understanding all these things, but have we actually been exiting the timeline? Because what happens is the more we know about every trauma we have, right? Do you ever feel like you become more fixated on all of those things? And then you anchor yourself into that timeline more and more and more. When we exit the timeline, we begin to leave the area, the blockage, the paradigm that caused the problem. Doesn't mean we ignore it. It doesn't mean we're imagining. But then if we decide to work on that, we work on it from the different timeline. And that's where the magic happens. Because from the higher timeline, we then can see and heal and understand what that meant from a very different perspective. So, with that, this was kind of like a big summation of everything. I'd like to start unmuting all of y'all and just chat. I'm super excited about having everybody here. So let me grab some participants here. And if y'all want to just unmute yourself, I want to hear from all of you. I'm going to go to Andrew, if that's okay. Well, do y'all want to raise your hand if you want me to unmute you? Let me do that. Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right, technology's working.
How's it going,
So,
man?
oh well, it's pretty good. It's a beautiful day here. I'm in Wisconsin, USA,
Nice.
and I kind of signed up for this on a whim because I was out of town. I got back on a Sunday and I saw, hey, Darius is doing something new and he's doing it by himself. He's not bringing in somebody else that, he's saying this person's great. Go spend time with him. I've enjoyed several of your offerings from the people you've interviewed in the past and so on. And I've had mixed results, but generally the results have been positive. But I came to the conclusion that if I'm going to do anything that I want in my life, it's got to come from inside me and
Mm,
nobody can help me. I mean, not Darius, not any of the people that I purchased from. It's something inside me. But that being said, it's interesting and fun to be here to, see your perspective and see how I can integrate that. And from what the things you're saying, it has been kind of parallel to some of the stuff I've been discovering on my own. So in that sense, it seems to make sense. If that,
awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Does
without,
make sense.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, one of the things I've noticed with a lot of people is they'll say stuff like, okay, fix me, or, help me release this thing, help me clear this block. But if we don't actually ourselves ascend to the next timeline or have a vision of what that looks like and we start to embody it, if we don't be that thing, if we don't be the version of ourselves in that higher state, there's only so much anybody's going to be able to do for us because we're in essence locking ourselves back down into that state, or maybe just reactivating all the same stuff. So I think you're 100% correct. I think it's a journey, and yeah, it's going to be your responsibility as well as mine to support and guide you to just create that template to walk into. And so yeah, so what's a goal you have for the program or something you'd like to see come about, Andrew?
Well, I've been spending some time and treasure for a process that I've been working on that rewards me for emotional stability, logic, and surfing waves, if you will. And
That's
it
cool.
it's been a source of what do you call plumbing the depths of emotions,
Hmm.
but I'd like to transcend that so I can see what is in front of me and take advantage of it and be rewarded for it.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, I love that. And I think what you're saying, what I'm hearing is you've gone into the depths and now it's like you're ready to step out of that and see it from a different perspective and then be able to somehow utilize what you learned to help yourself or help others.
Yes.
Pretty much. Well, that sounds like stepping out of the timeline, my man. 100%. And
Yeah.
I think you're coming to that conclusion because that's what you're saying. So, wow, what a serendipity. That's awesome.
Yeah. And here we are, right?
And here we are. Yeah. So, I would just say start going through the modules. And then you're going to go one all the way through six. In module six, we build what is the seer projector. And then you're gonna start unpacking it all. So I'm glad you're here. I can't wait to see what happens, and I'm excited. This is gonna be awesome for you.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting that the way that your mind works and you're able to put the program together. I see a lot of things and it's very abstract for me, and it's like, yeah, right on, that's it. And then no, wait a minute, here you've got it, so it's X, Y, and Z, one, two, three. Do it in this order, in this way, and just feel it and experience. And so I like your sense of organization with that. So
Oh,
thank you for
thank
that.
you. Yeah, thank you. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. I'm excited to have you, and I'm glad we connected. So now I know when you send me a message, I know it's you.
All right.
Thanks, man. All right. Well, we're gonna go to Cheryl if she wants to be on the. Actually, Andrew, I'll leave your video on if you want. All right, let me go to Cheryl. I'm sometimes the worst at Zoom. All right, so we got Cheryl. If you want to unmute yourself, Cheryl Allen, I can send you an unmute request. I think
Okay.
I've set it up. There you are.
Oh, there we go. I don't have my camera on because I just got out of the shower and I have no makeup on and my hair's
Oh,
not.
don't worry
I'm
about
so
it.
sorry.
It's
But
okay.
yeah, oh my word, I love this program. It's just so many tools. I mean, I already wrote that in the chat, but it's amazing. Yeah, so many tools to work with. And I've done so many classes in the past with, a ton of different people. I know you would know all the names, but yeah, I'm excited to be in this program.
I'm excited to have you. I can't wait. And maybe it was that 2 hour detox you were doing because where you're just not doing. It sort of gets you into this realm where you're just working on something. I actually am going to be I have all the base tools in here, but this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm going to add. There's a few more tools, so we're going to have more tools coming in. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to do, Cheryl, was every breakdown point, I wanted to have a solution. And that's where, if y'all are going through this and you've created your seer projector, and then you're like, wow, I'm really feeling stressed, or like I hold this vision of this thing I want, but then I just like, my mind goes, it's not possible, it's not happening, or I'm checking my phone, or I'm checking my email, and that thing that I think's going to happen isn't happening. And trust me, I've been there. I've created the 11 reality resets because those breakdowns are going to happen. You're going to get pulled back into the timeline. And it actually doesn't matter. This is the real beautiful thing is it doesn't matter. As long as you hold the space for the new timeline at different points in your day and before you go to bed, and you hold the emotion of that being fulfilled, which is what we talk about in the seer projector, it's the emotion that imprints it. It's not, oh my God, I had a negative thought, right? Oh, I was thinking about money, but then I got a bill and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be broke, for a couple seconds or for a minute. That doesn't override the consistency of holding the new timeline. So many of the tools in there, particularly the 11 reset keys, are all about like, what do you do when it breaks down? Because it's going to break down. I'm not trying to put that out there. I'm just, the reality is you're going to have good days and bad days. So I've built it with fail safes so that if things don't go well, you know what to do because it's going to happen. And I think that's another piece that's super different about this.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I'm glad you're here. What is something you want to create? I want to try to remember for everybody, and I have some idea with you, but tell me what it is that your number one goal is for the program.
Well, I want the money, time, freedom, and I'm one of the people who wants to live on the ocean. I just
Yeah,
love
that
the
was you. I
ocean.
thought so.
Yeah, it has so much energy. I mean, it's calming, but it has this energy. Somebody said it was ions or stuff. I'm not
It
sure.
is.
But
It
yeah, I
is.
just love the ocean.
It
And I
is.
don't know how, but hey, subconscious, you can figure it out.
You probably heard the story of Dr. Lothar von Blank Schmidt, which was the POW.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
love that.
If that was possible, what is not possible? It's like, what is not, no, nothing is impossible. So yeah, the more that you begin to just feel that timeline already happened and align to it, what's going to happen is it you're going to slowly, this is it's for everybody, you're going to slowly transform into the version of the person that has that. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to come next week, but slowly you're going to find yourself shifting. And this is where the bridge of incidents start kind of moving you in that timeline. So, it's going to be a fun journey. I'm here to help and I think it's an amazing thing. And then when you get that, go to the next thing, figure out what's the next piece of that you want and it'll be fun. So, I can't wait, Cheryl. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. I love to talk about this, so I could just go on and on. Let me go to a next person. We've got Diana. Diana, if you want to, I'm just going down the list, but if you want to unmute yourself, you're welcome to. And if not, I'll go to Donna. So Donna, I just have Donna guest, but if you want to unmute yourself, go ahead. I could send you a unmute request. Let me see. Let's see where Donna is. If not, I may just go to, let's see, and then we got Erica, we've got Franny. If any of y'all want to unmute yourself, go right ahead. And if not, I'll just start going to people with their videos on. All right, so let me go to Juliana. So Juliana, I'm going to send you an unmute request, and I'll
Oh,
also
hello.
pin you.
Can you
I'm
hear
gonna,
me?
I can hear you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume if people have their video on, they're okay to be unmuted. So I don't mean to put you on the spot there.
Oh, I love this program too. I've tried so many other programs, but I really believe on this. So I'm ready to move from my old timeline to new timeline.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, what is the number one thing you want to create in the program? And really like it's you creating it. It's not me, it's not really the program,
financial freedom.
financial freedom. What would that look
Yes.
like for you? Like what would
To
is
be
there a
able
certain
to be able to share, spend, and save. Have more than enough.
is there a and this is a great point for everybody to kind of let's think about it. Is there a dollar amount that would be a number for you? We just had today Ruth Jean who wrote to us, and she said she had this miraculous thing happen where something that had been delayed for a number of years, like 6 years, come through. And she said, I never put down a dollar amount because I always wanted to just be open to the universe giving me whatever. But one of the things as we were talking was being specific is really powerful because you're creating a specific template. Now, it doesn't mean you can't later change the template and go
Mm,
higher, but having specifics is good. So what would be a
yeah.
specific amount for you?
About 500,
Fi-
500
500 what? Thousand?
dollar, 1,000, yes.
$500,000
Yes.
like total in your bank account. Okay.
That would be great.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, one thing I'll tell people too is if that feels like a stretch or you're like, yeah, I think about that, but it feels like, ooh, just take that number in half
Mm.
or take it in a fourth and you say, okay, I want 125,000 and
Yes.
then feel that and start to create the template for that. And then once you get that, you can always change it and go to the next one, and change it and go to the next level, and then make it
Okay.
250. And then, so you're building momentum without stressing out your body. So one of the
Okay.
things we're doing is, you'll see in the program, there's a lot on what we call somatic release,
Mm,
which is if you've ever had like a goal or you try something and it stretches you and it feels really good for a day or two, but then your body starts to get kind of stressed or you start to get a lot of negative thoughts. It's because maybe this is be so far beyond where you're at that you just have to bring it down a little bit because you want to feel calm in your body. And this goes for
okay.
anybody. If any of
Mm,
these things that you're putting in the seer, you start to feel like a little really stressed about, just change it a little so that you can feel calm in your body. The moment you're calm about your goal is the signal. The universe responds to the signal, and the signal is, I am safe. This is normal. This is my reality. The moment you can hold that type of signal,
mm,
then you start aligning to it faster and faster. So for anybody, if it's something super big, like we're like, oh, I want to, speak in front of 100,000 people. Well, if you've never spoken in front of 100,000 people, but maybe you've spoken in front of 10 people, maybe set an intermediate goal of like, hey, I want to speak in front of 100 people, but you want that goal to allow you to feel calm in your body. And that's the signal that you're ready for it and that it's going to come. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, and this is the kind of stuff we'll be doing in the weekly lab, so I'm excited. So thank you for being here, Juliana. And yeah, it's totally possible for you to do that. And you're going to find yourself learning and becoming and aligning to many different things that will make
Thank you.
this a reality. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. She's awesome. All right, let me go to let's see. Anyone? Oh, we'll just go up here. All right. So we've got, let me go to Philip. All right, Philip, I'm going to pin you here and then unmute you there. Let's see okay, just sent you an unmute request, Philip. Let's see. I'll do that again. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, Philip, my friend in the UK, what's going on?
Um, well, my main goal will be to create financial freedom and time freedom, and going on to a higher timeline that actually has that already created.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what we're going to be doing. So, kind of like the same with our last year caller, is there kind of a number or a level that you see as representing that?
Um, well, I don't have many expenses, so it's probably start off with 100,000
Hmm.
in the bank. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So the steps, at some level it's like exciting, but at another level, I want everyone to be able to do this without even having to think about it. It's like you just kind of go through the process, the worksheets, and you just do it. And it's almost like baking a cake. Like you're just putting a recipe, you're putting an instruction set out there, not just for the universe, but you're actually building the template so that all the materials, all the things can now finish out that template. It's kind of like when someone builds a house. What do they do first? They clear the land, they pour the slab, and then the people that go in are the framers. And what the framers do is they build the frame of the house, right? And then later the guys come in with the sheetrock and the roof. So we're clearing the space through concentration of energy. We're understanding how it works. We're building the framing, we're building the template, and then we're slowly going to be aligning to that template by experiencing the template already fulfilled and then allowing the bridges of incidence, which is this amazing chain of serendipities that miraculously start to happen once we know what we want and we watch for them, and then we start moving in that direction.
Yep.
And the other side of it is we also at times have to grow, learn, become something more than we've been. Like we actually end up at some point quantum jumping into that version of ourselves. So, I'd ask the question like, what would Philip be doing right now if he had $100,000 in the bank or more? What would he be reading every day? What is this version of Philip on this higher timeline? What would he be reading every day? How does he show up in the world if he has that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because you're like, oh, wow. So the moment we've talked about this, right, there's now a timeline with that reality already happening. There's a version of you in that timeline right now. It just is. That's the many worlds interpretation. So you can even start to imagine during your day as you're going through your timeline, oh, what's that version of myself doing right now? Oh, that Philip, I don't know, he's reading about investing. Oh, he's writing a book because he wants to sell a book that, or he's writing his second book. There's things that version in that timeline is doing right now. So we'll get to that, but very cool stuff. I'm glad you're here, and just take it step by step. I know there's a lot, so we'll just kind of leave it there and enjoy the journey.
Okay.
Thanks, Philip. I'm glad you joined. I saw you join last night, and I was really happy because I remember you from some of our calls and some of the emails. So thank you, my friend. All right. Yeah, this is cool. So we're gonna keep going. Let's see who else we've got. I've got let's see. It looks like Lynn Lay. So let me add a pin. Am I saying your name right, Lynn Lay, or am I just the worst name person there is?
Hi,
Lynn? Hi.
Linley.
Lynn Lee. Okay, sorry.
Lily. Yes. Hi. Um, I've done quite a few of your programs, and I must say, my best teachings have been from some of the people that you've brought forward for us. So thank you for that. I guess, like everybody else, it's the question of time and money freedom.
Hmm.
But I have two versions of that. I have the tame one, and then I have the absolutely wild one. Um, the tame one is to work from home and to have a beautiful space in which I can do my treatments and see my people and just have the freedom to be and to offer my services to the people. The big one is to actually have a full-on retreat healing center in the most magnificent place. That's the ultimate one. So do we do small timelines first and then jump to the big one, or do we just go straight for the big one?
Great question. So when you do, and this kind of comes from you feeling your body,
Mm,
because your body is not going to lie. It's going to tell you where you are at. So a lot
mm,
of people would say, "Oh, we'll just, I'm going to get $1 million." Well, if you are still trying to get $1,000, it
mm,
can feel so far out there, or it could be stressful to your body that you start to actually create a somatic tension. And so
mm,
your body's going to tell you what right now makes the most sense. So
mm.
what I
Okay.
would do is, you know, I would start with the first one, right? The first level, right?
Mm,
Um, and then as you start seeing that come to fruition, as you start moving into that version and doing those things, the other one is going to start to feel even more likely. It's going to feel more normal
more,
to you,
yeah, more attainable.
more attainable. And then you're
Mm,
growing into that version of that person that can have that. So it's not that but here's the thing, it's not that you can't keep that out there as, oh, yeah, that's going to be the end goal. That's going to happen.
mm,
That's fine. But when you're feeling it every day through what I call the bliss bridge, I don't know if you've gotten to this yet, but have you gotten to the Bliss Bridge part yet? I know we just started, so why would you be at this
Not
part?
yet, no.
Okay, so what I tell people to do with the Seer Projector worksheet is, so you build out the reality, right, of what you really want, like you working from home
Mm,
and having these people see you in this beautiful space and this calm and all these feelings. And then you create a scene of this. But because you can't run the scene all day, I learned this through one of my teachers, William Horton, who was a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming. And what he said to do that basically takes something and allows it to go into our subconscious and into our operating system is you do what's called like a double click technique, where you imagine this 2 to 3 second scene of you working beautiful home and people coming, everything great, and you double click. So what you do is like you're during the day and you're going, and then you just click like you're clicking a mouse, click, click,
mm,
and you imagine this scene and you feel the feelings of the scene. You feel the energy of the scene already fulfilled, already done, already happening now. And how many seconds does it take to just click, with your finger and feel an emotion and feel a timeline? It doesn't take long
mm,
at all.
yeah.
So I would start with the one that is the most like for closest to where you are, and then feel where your body is too. You know, so one of the
Mm,
things like when I wanted to start this program, even just the idea of trying to do this in addition to the calls and the other stuff that's happening, like I got a lot of stress. I was like, oh my God, I want to do it. But it took me a couple days where I was like, I just have to rest and like let my body just adjust to just even doing this. So I was like, well,
mm,
first thing I want to do is I'm just going to figure out what's the name going to be. Because, going into like, oh, how would I promote it and what would be in it? It was just like so much that while it was exciting for a day or two, it eventually like made me very stressed. And I was like, I can't. So I'm just going to be like, what's the name? And so I like, started the smallest thing. And
mm,
then
okay.
what happens is the timeline starts to pull you. Once
Okay.
you do those little things, it's like, oh, okay. And then I would imagine the timeline, and the timeline started pulling me and pulling me. And eventually I was like, "Ooh, this is a real thing. This is happening." And it wasn't stressful anymore. It started to just become like, "Oh, wow. I want to go to this time. I want to be in this timeline." So yeah, I get stressed too. Start small.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Lindley. Awesome. I love it. Well, now that I know your goal when we're connecting, I'm gonna be able to help you more. So this is great. Thank you for being here. All right. We're going to go to, let's see, we got Juliana, Philip. Let me see. I think we've got Fanny here. So let me send you an unmute request, Fanny. And Fanny, I'm going to add a pin. Fanny, hi. I'm going to send you an unmute request if you can unmute. Hi, Fanny. Are you there? I don't know. I don't know if her, it seems like did your computer lock up? Oh, there you are. Hi, Fanny. Can you hear me? Oh, no, Patty. I'm sorry. I My eyes were going.
Yes,
I thought it was Fanny, and I kept looking. I realized, oh, it's
I'm
Patty.
unmuted.
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
I'm sitting.
Thank you for this program.
Thank you, thank you. What was the number one reason you joined?
Abundance. And yes, my number for like the last 20 years has been more than $685 million. And that's quite a chunk. But, the experts have said from way back when, it doesn't matter if you want to manifest $100 or how many millions or hundreds of millions you want to. But like you said in the previous, one of the previous guests, start off maybe with 10 million or 1 million or 500,000 and adjust to that. So that makes sense.
I agree. I agree because what can happen is if it's so far out there, not only does it kind of it can create stress. Doesn't sound like it's doing that for you, but it can actually feel so far beyond what we can perceive in some way that we don't actually know what that version of ourselves actually would be doing, thinking, feeling, or being. Like
It's almost
it,
like you don't believe it.
right. Like if I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have $10 billion," I now maybe the universe would somehow guide me, but I haven't figured that out. So what I teach is what I know, and this is one of the reasons. Like a lot of people have asked me, well, why have you not taught abundance for 16 years? Because the last abundance course I taught was years ago, and it wasn't even really an abundance course. It was more about your soul mission, right? Is because I didn't want to teach something that I didn't have, and I didn't want to teach something that I just had for a little while, or that I got, in some weird way of like I won the lottery. I wanted something that was a baseline. I wanted to be able to say for over X number of decades, right, or a decade and a half, I've been able to hold a certain level, and 100%, it's got to be believable, attainable. And then you can change it and go to the next level. So, so yeah, you're right. And I mean, this is the thing. I don't, I'll just be honest. I'll be frank here as to another reason I did this program. I've had people that I've worked with that have been teaching abundance, and they're not coming back on my show. But and I had no way of knowing this, but I have people on my show, they're not coming back, but that have been teaching abundance. And a week and a half after coming on the show, they've written me and said, I have no money. I need you to give me an advance on my, my check or my earnings or whatever from your show. And I'm like, well, how are you teaching abundance if, you're not able to even function right without, and I know things happen, but this is what I'm seeing is that a lot of people are teaching abundance to make abundance, and they haven't actually had abundance. So then you get all of these, ideas like, well, write a blank check for $10 billion to the universe, it's going to happen. Well, if it hasn't happened for them, is it going to happen for me? So
I, appre I appreciate what you said about you waited till abundance was your baseline.
yes,
Abundance was in your baseline. Then it was like you got the all clear to move forward.
yes, yes.
And that's what we're
And
doing.
And the other thing that I stayed away from trying to teach, I have some more modules I'm going to be releasing. One thing that's coming forward a lot is something about money and money. I don't know if it's money secret. There's going to be something about money, and it's not replacing anything we have, but it's just these general rules about money. It's sort of like quantum money rules or how money kind of works, that doesn't get into strategy of like, oh, do this, but it's like these rules or these paradigms around the energy of money and what makes it really flow. Because a lot of people that have been teaching abundance that haven't had abundance have been kind of parlaying information that I find doesn't actually seem to help people that much. So that's also coming forward as something that needs to be incorporated in the program. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Mhm.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. And I have a few more techniques that are coming forward. So like quantum prayer, which is another way of doing this, but yeah, we got a lot more coming, Patty. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay, I could go on and on. You guys know. Let me go to Diana, and let's see. Diana, I'm gonna unmute you and I'm gonna pin you.
Hi, can you hear me, Darius?
I can hear you, Diana. How are you?
Great. Oh, I'm okay. Thank you. How are you?
I'm actually really good. I'm really excited. I was a little nervous, I mean, about the launch and everything,
Yeah, it's
so
normal.
it is normal. And that's the thing I want people to know is that when you come up with some idea or a higher timeline, you're going to have those moments where the old version of you is going to have, connections, and that can come from being nervous, being a little worried, being concerned. That's normal. That doesn't mean you're not designed to do something. So thank you for asking about me. That's really kind.
Of course, yes. It's not only about us, it's also about you, right?
Oh,
About
thanks.
us as a team.
That's well, and I want to talk about what you want to create, but that's the other thing I'm really excited about with school and what we're doing is I've been going through and messaging a lot of y'all and connecting. I really realize how much deeper we're starting to all connect in this than I ever have through U Wealth Revolution. And I'm still going to do U Wealth Revolution, but we just don't have the systems right now that let everybody connect like this. So it's really been really fun, like kind of a family, like a connection. And then I looked at the world map and just saw where everybody
Yeah.
was, and it's like, whoa, this is so amazing. It's like one person even, and I don't even know, I have to look this up. They're off Antarctica somewhere. I gotta look at this, like literally somewhere off in Antarctica. And I have, well, kind of off to the side of Antarctica. Let me see. Yeah. So, oh, they're in Iceland. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can see this. One person in Iceland.
Okay.
I
Wow.
know, I know. Amazing. So, what's the number one reason you joined the program?
Yes, the number one reason is that I want to actually jump into my higher timeline
Mm,
and exit, that struggle that I have now, having also a corporate job for more than 26 years old, years, sorry, and working hard to my coaching business. I'm a professional coach, and I coach leaders and of individuals as well. And I want to teach conscious, gentle leadership. I want to really. I know there maybe other people will do, but the problem that I have is I don't have enough time, and I cannot give up of my corporate job because it's money, right? So my goal is to, um, of course, I have also very specific, I'm a finance by background, specific goals, but my goal is to actually to jump into my higher timeline and manifest from creation. I already create a lot of stuff for people, for my clients, and I feel wonderful. So I know my soul mission. I know that I came here to basically do that, embody, the heart intelligence into people that are very rational and very much into their self. So I know how it is, but somehow as much effort I put, in my limited time, because of course I have a family, I have a child. It's not that I work a lot in the weekend. It seems like I do not have, it does not materialize, in that way. So I truly want to help more people, and I try everything, absolutely everything, from marketing, digital marketing, everything, hire people to do that for me, do it myself. I did everything I could, in my opinion, until now. And yeah, I just want to jump from this being stuck, because basically I coach people to take out, not to be stuck. So it's also did you ever hear about the person that like a carpenter that doesn't have things in their house or something like that? So you
yes, I
help
know.
other people, but yourself you cannot help yourself somehow. So or you can, but maybe yeah. So I'm really I loved what you do with welfare revolutions. With
Yep.
your I'm basically I feel like a family there, like a cosmic family, not necessarily Earth's family, but just a global family, let's say, because you are in US, I'm in the Netherlands, so we are all together in one family. So please don't stop with that program, please.
No, we're not. We're starting that back up in April. So we're taking a little bit of a month to regroup a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but for your point, yes, I wanted to pull something up here. So I'm going to
Yes,
my
please.
training. So I'm literally going through my phone because have y'all and if y'all haven't downloaded the school app on your phone, you can basically have this with you all the time, like any of the reality resets. But one of the reasons I wanted to pull this up for you was I wanted to go through the kingdoms. Um, so Diana, the biggest, and have you gone through the first training, the Four Secrets of Reality Hacking?
No, I just signed up today. And I
Oh,
was at
okay.
work, by the way. I had
Oh,
between the
well,
meetings, and I didn't have a chance to actually answer to your message.
oh
So
my gosh.
I actually finished half an hour before the meeting. I finished my work. I ate something, and I stepped back in the in your meeting. So so
Okay.
basically, I
That's
didn't
okay.
have it. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I love that. No, it's, yeah, I get it. So, one of the things you're going to do, you're going to go to the classroom, and there's a module one called the Four Secrets of Reality Hacking. Okay. And this is the thing you just mentioned is the first thing that I cover. Like, believe it or not. So, one of the
Okay.
things that
Wow.
just remember this, what we're going to be doing here is not governed by what we call the four temporal kingdoms. The four kingdoms is not where we look for manifestation or for timeline jumping or hacking your timeline. So, what are these kingdoms? The first kingdom is the kingdom of matter. This is of objects, of limitation, of physical appearance. The second
Mhm.
kingdom is the kingdom of money and supply. The third kingdom is the one you're talking about, the kingdom of time. The kingdom of time. And that kingdom is the kingdom where we think that time is fixed. We only have so much time for something to happen. But
Mhm.
in the quantum, there is no time.
I know.
When you start to jump timelines, things that could take you 5 years, 10 years, 30 years can happen immediately because instead of taking like the long route, you're
Mm-hmm.
jumping
Linear.
to the
Mm-hmm.
4D template of the thing that already exists. So time accelerates. Something
Mm.
that you do in a minute or in an hour might take you a minute. Or you might bypass something that you think you needed to do. Oh, I need to put this presentation together because I need to try to get more clients. When you may get called on an opportunity to just go
Mm.
somewhere where you meet 50 clients or you speak in front of 50 clients. You didn't even need a presentation. So
Mm.
you're
Wonderful.
gonna
It
like,
sounds very wow, exciting.
yeah, I mean, so I know it sounds like crazy or whatever, but you're going to go through the program, you're going to understand like the basics of how it all works. You're collapsing realities, and you know a
Okay.
lot of this, but the kingdom of time is one of the ones that people get stuck on. They think, "Oh, I need all this time to do this." You don't need any time. You don't need more time. I mean, you're going to have to do things, but it's going to be accelerated.
And can we
And
feel that in somatic way? How we compress the time? Can we feel that? Can we recognize that by being, yeah, by just being in that time? I don't know if you understand my
a
my
little bit,
question.
explain a little bit more what you mean by that.
By having this model, can you teach us how to recognize this in our own body? So we'll be able to do this quantum jumping in a timeline
Yes.
actually connecting somatic in my own body with, and then say, okay, that's the moment, not just jumping without being aware that we jump.
Yeah, because what we're going to be doing through the modules, so the first module is the Four Secrets of Reality Hacking. The second module is a story. It's pretty amazing. The third module is all about some of the reality hacks, like three that you have to understand about kind of shifting reality. And
Mm.
then module six is building what we call the seer projector. CEER. And what that is it's actually creating, it's it's choosing, having the experience, and then it's enjoining with the experience, and then it is receiving. And in that space, you're actually somatically going
Mm-hmm.
to feel, align, receive the feeling of that thing already happening, already being in that timeline.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
there's ways to open that up that are very calming on your body and only take a couple seconds. That's where I talked about with one of the other listeners, the Bliss Bridge, which is just this very short experience, 1 to 3 seconds of you in the timeline during the day. So somatically, you're like, okay, I'm feeling it, but I'm not having to hold this like 24 hours a day. I'm not having to be
Mm.
like, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. And then you get stressed. It's like just a few moments, a couple times a day, several times a day, feeling that experience in that new timeline. And then from there, just kind of watching reality begin to reorganize. And that's where you start to jump time because you don't need 5 years for something to happen. So in my example, I had one person write into me, and I may not remember everybody because we've been getting so many messages. Um, she wrote to me, I think it was, I don't know if it was Cheryl, but it was someone that wrote in and said, I was just on Tony Robbins's event or his summit, Time to Rise, and he said that he had been waiting to get like a certain speaker on, and it took him 6 years to get this speaker. I think it was Dr. Bruce Lipton or someone like that.
Mm,
And I was
okay.
telling her the story that I was able to, for some, well, because of what I did, I was able to have Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, John D. Martin, all these speakers, including the one that Tony had been trying to get for 6 years, on my show 15 years ago. I had no background at all. I was a lawyer and I had an MBA in finance, which you can
Mm.
understand. And I just decided with another person, I want to interview and do a show on spirituality. So how was I able to bypass like all these years and just have those people write back to me and say, I kind of feel like I connected with you at one point. Like, do we know each other?
It's amazing.
I know. So don't be ruled by time. Okay. But I also tell people, I'm like, don't also be foolish. Like, in the video, I say, like, yeah, we're not going to be ruled by the kingdom of money, but don't think that, okay, I'm not going to pay my taxes because, I'm not going to be ruled by the kingdom of money. I'm just going to not pay my, I mean, you're still going to do things in these kingdoms, but we don't look to these kingdoms as the absolute source of the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
think about Christ when Jesus would do miracles and he saw a sick person, he didn't look at the person as a sick person in the kingdom of the physical realm and say, this is
Mm.
all they are, right? He saw them as healed. He
Yeah.
saw them from the divine kingdom as healed. And as they believed, they merged with that version of themselves and they became healed. So time is not a factor, and you'll see that. And I'm excited for what you're going to be doing, and I'm excited to help you. So,
Thank you so much. A great explanation. And I'm sorry, everyone, that I stole from your time. I steal your time. Thank you.
no, thank you. I can't wait. This is great. And yeah, this is a really good question for people that are doing a corporate job and working. I suggest, you keep doing what you're doing and not be thinking that you need all this time to make something happen. For years worked in a corporate job and on the side and in the evenings, I started other businesses and things that I wanted to do. And it's totally possible. In fact, where I see people make a mistake is a lot of people will hear, oh, if I really believe in my dream, then I need to just absolutely cut everything off and just go do that and get rid of my job. Well, there's a nuance there. If that puts you under so much stress financially that you are now somatically feeling tension constantly in your body because now you're worried, that's not going to help you anchor a new timeline, right? Calm is the portal. Presence is the portal. So it's about maintaining a somatic calm where what you are wanting to do feels normal, feels aligned, feels spacious. So you have to watch that. You have to watch a lot of advice where people kind of say something, but then, it creates so much stress that your body doesn't feel good. The universe, I believe, God, the divine, responds to signal. And the signal is it is already done. It's already done. I'm in the space and I feel calm and ease and balance. And if you do that, you're going to see that things will move forward for you really well. So what I want to do, since we're only scheduled for about an hour, I don't want to miss anybody. I've got Gail and I've got Phyllis. So why don't we go to Gail and Phyllis and then we'll slowly wind down this first coffee hour. Hi, Gail. How's it going? Let me send you an unmute request. Where are you? Okay. There you go.
Hi,
Hey, welcome.
thank you. I'm going through the modulars slowly but surely. I've even repeated them, some of them, just to clarify on things. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'm liking
Yeah,
it.
you liked it. What's one thing that you found kind of interesting or different or unique?
Oh, the hack. One of the hacks where you lay down and you turn your eyes to the right first, wait to yawn and turn left, and it does work. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I did this in the video, right? The
Yeah,
somatic. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, amazing.
it does. I had
Yeah,
to do that so much when I was creating this program. I would get
yeah,
so excited and then I would be like, oh my, I just got really stressed.
yeah. I can believe it.
And
I,
so I was like, okay,
I'm at the point where I'm a bit stressed with work and everything, so that hack really helps.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
makes me sad.
glad. I'm very glad. Yeah. And it's sometimes hard to remember. For me, it's hard to remember to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. And then you go about, and then you're like, you're still getting there and getting stressed.
Yeah,
So yeah, very good. That's great. That's great. Yeah, the body will. So you've heard the part where it says presence is the portal, right? You've been to those,
yeah,
right? Right. So if we can stay calm and anchored and balanced and we're in the presence, like it's very now easy for the light to come through. And so in the Kabbalistic terms, 99% of everything that we once already been created, we're the vessel. This got to come
mm,
through us. So we do that through creating the timeline and then kind of merging with that version of ourselves. But if we're stressed and if we're tight, then it's not going to come through, or we're going to miss something. Like we're going to miss an opportunity. We're going to miss a bridge of incidents. We're going to react or respond when, maybe we start a business and we think, oh, I should have this much money coming in. And then we look at the bank account and we're like, oh my God, this doesn't work. And then we're anchoring the timeline again. So the somatic release is super important. So that's great.
been a lot better since I've used that technique. I've not been as wound up and as stressed because of that.
Wow. All right, Gail, you're going to be our somatic release expert then. You're going to help.
Working.
And there's a lot more to that. Like I'm not an expert on somatic release, but there's a lot more that people do in those areas and all that. I just wanted to take like the core stuff and bring it forward for people. So this is great. This is great. Well, is there anything you want to share about maybe what you want to create from the program?
Oh, financial abundance, and I just want more money in my life. I've been living in lack quite a while, so I'm on my own now as well. So it's one person trying to deal with everything, and yeah, so
Well,
that's about.
yeah, yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Well, luckily, that's one thing I know how to create, and it's actually not really hard. So, one thing I would tell people when it comes to money is we talk about bridges of incidents. It's probably why I'm going to do a money module because all of the stuff in here will get you there. But there's like a few things. And one thing I always say to people is create as many ways as possible so money can actually reach you. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like, how many ways do you have that money could reach you right now?
Now I've only got my job.
You got your job. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's a version of you in this higher timeline that, let's say, has the financial abundance that you want. How many ways would that person have that money could reach them?
I'd have to say start my own. I have healing modalities that I help people. I seem to be able to help people, but I can't help myself, which is very strange because I
So
work on
you
myself a lot. Yeah,
So yeah, so you have all the same, you have these bridges, these ways this money can reach
yeah,
you, but it's not really reaching you. Okay, well that's where we've got to get out of the current template that you're in,
yeah,
and we've got to operate on this situation from a different timeline. That's all.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's be easy. It's so easy, in fact, like once you declare it's done, it's like already done. But we're gonna walk through the steps and just build the timeline and then use the processes to actually embody it and be it, and then we're gonna see some
yeah.
big things happen. So I think I am gonna
Fantastic.
do the money module for people too. So that'll be coming pretty soon, maybe in a
Oh,
week.
fantastic.
It's just
That's
like
great.
rules around money that nobody talks about, like how money moves, like the velocity of how to like speed up money and all that.
Yeah,
So I think it needs to be done, but
yeah,
good.
fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna do it. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be easy. So I've got, let me see. I'm gonna go to, and I know I've been chatting with you. Is it Aisling? Let me add a pin here because I know Aisling is in, send you a mute request. I think Aisling will be our last person today as we're a little over, but that's okay. Is it Aisling or how do I say your name?
It's Ashling, so like ASH.
Oh, Ashling. Okay. Hi, Ashling. I know we've been chatting
Hi.
about visiting in Ireland one day.
Absolutely. Um, yes, I'm sorry I missed the start because I had it down at 6 GMT and it was 5, so apologies for being a little bit late.
Oh, did I
Um,
put the wrong time? So 11 o'clock, so 11 o'clock my time is 5 GMT.
yeah, I'm really glad I checked in though, 20 to 6, so I'm after getting some of it, so it's great.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. I thought I had it figured out. Okay, well, we'll double check that. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so really happy to be here. And just a couple of weeks ago, I just put out something that I don't necessarily want to do things the way I've always done them. And I felt that there was a higher way of doing things. And then this came in. So I think it's for me, it's about quantum creation and it's about experimenting on what can I do next in a way that is different than what I've learned up until now. I had absolutely no idea. I still don't know. But I just know I want to try and, well, maybe to do things differently from a broader perspective. So I think
Yes.
what I'm learning here is actually, um, yeah, I suppose I'm trying to experiment with possibility and how to grow in ways that are different than what I've done up until now. So when you spoke about it, moving beyond the kingdoms, that's the biggest way I could, like, that just clicked with me. And I thought,
100%.
yeah, that's exactly what I've been feeling. I just don't really want to do it the way I've done it up until now. So if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense. Like it's one of the reasons I've created this group too is not just for y'all, but for myself because I come into the realm of having done this for years, and I'm like, what's next, or what do I really want, or how do I want to be in the world? And the thing I get is I want to have fun again, creating things that I don't even think are possible, and then seeing them just grow and flourish and really seeing people grow and flourish and being able to tangibly witness it firsthand. Like it should be fun. Like this world should be fun. This universe, this creation process should be fun. It should be magic in everyday life. Like why not create the template where we expect magic to show up and it does, you know? And this is exactly what you're saying and so yeah, it totally resonates with me. Totally. Totally.
Really,
Yeah.
really happy for all of this. Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. And I'll say this, I mean, these ideas, they go back and they spawn a lot of different ancient texts. I mean, it's not just my idea, but the Gospel of Thomas, the Emerald Tablets, going back to all sorts of different bits of wisdom. This information's been there. And one of the things we're going to talk about in the level two is the whole base 10 architecture, which a lot of people believe that our entire system used to be base 12 and that we have 12 strand DNA, but we also have uh, 12 sort of earth chakras, and sacred sites were built on all these 12 sacred earth chakras. And all of this was aligning us to the divine template, this divine architecture. And so when we are able to imagine something like we're talking about in the 4D and bringing it forward and seeing these manifestations and living from that quantum, like you're saying, this was part of our original architecture. This was part of how Christ operated through this Christos activation, this higher level that Christ operated on was through that divine architecture. So when we're sitting here as human beings going, God, life should not be this drudgery, this difficult, this challenging. Why? Well, maybe we've been cut off from the way we were designed to operate. So we're going to explore that in level two. But that's the other piece of it is like we're feeling like something isn't working, and yet we don't have an exit from the current system. So I wanted to build this to exit the current system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it gets a little
absolutely.
deep. And that's why, Ashling, I don't have it. It's like a level two, because like we could get into all this and just be like, oh my God, but how do I make my life better? We make our life better by modules 1 through 6. Like we keep it simple, and then you feel the results and you see things changing. You understand how to work with these energies. And then by level two, you go, oh, well, I've already been doing all that. Oh, well, this is great, but I've already been doing it. I've been living it. It's cool. I get it now. So
Yeah,
it's it's great. So
brilliant.
what would your goal be, or what was the number one goal you joined the program for?
Yeah, it was abundance, but when I went through the desire worksheet, what really came up for me was beautiful spaces. And I think it's beautiful spaces, relational spaces,
Mm.
and beautiful internal spaces in myself and outside. So I know that's a little bit maybe zoomed out, but if I was had to zoom in, I would say um, I want to move home. So I think that's one of the more tangible ones I'll put in. Um, but very much just really beautiful spaces where it just feel ease and peace and belonging actually. So that's what kind of came up for me.
So when you said I want to, did you say move home?
Yeah, I moved to a rural area a couple of years ago and it's lovely,
Hmm.
but I sensed a huge difference here, let's say, and a lot of things changed. But
Hmm.
that's why I'm doing all of this now because I'm seeing it as an opportunity to do something different. So I'm kind of using this change to learn and grow and find a new way
So do you see
of
yourself moving
expanding.
somewhere else, Ashling, like to another city or
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
okay.
still within Ireland, but yeah, back more to I used to live by the sea and I moved to the mountains and
Okay.
it's to kind of yeah, yeah.
So then we want to get specific on, right? The seer projector when we get to that, like where, imagine, okay, it's been 3 months. You already live now by the sea again, you're in your beautiful home. It's normal. It's normal. We're not in the like, woo, it's exciting. No, it's normal. It's just the way it is. My body's calm. I'm happy. I'm feeling this beautiful space. And we're going to build the projection of that experience and just being from there. And then during the day, you're imagining, like, okay, what is this version, this timeline, higher timeline version of myself that's already living by the sea in that home? What are they doing right now? Oh, they're making tea. Oh, they're sitting out on their balcony looking at the ocean. Oh, they're, they're rearranging the furniture. And so you start to just align to that version of yourself in the quantum. And then now you're going to find that there may be things that start to come in where, oh, I'm going to have something open up where I may have an opportunity to move back, or I may have something I need to learn or experience or do or create so that, and it's just these serendipities are going to start moving you to that because reality wants to adjust. Once you hold that frame and you hold it with calm and you hold it repeatedly during the day through the bliss bridges, reality is going to adjust. And that adjustment is like through these little bridges that pop open and these little doorways that seem like they're not related, but they are. And then eventually it starts to readjust and you're like, whoa, how is this happening? Well, it's in many respects, you're putting an order into the field to spirit, to God, to however you want to define it, that this is how I want it to be. And it starts to adjust. And then, you do it for that, and then you do it for the next thing and the next thing, and there you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I know I'm going through, but just to say, like, yes,
Brilliant.
totally
Yeah.
normal, totally repeatable.
Yeah.
And I want this for all of y'all to be like a recipe. It's not miraculous. We don't even use the word miracle. It's just like it's normal. It's just a normal thing. This is how it works. If you wanted to bake a cake, we would say get 3 eggs, get the flour, get the batter, get the, oil or whatever, and put it in the dish and grease the pan. Same thing. Like we're just baking a cake. And when you put that cake in the oven and you turn on the heat for 20 minutes and you pull it out, it's going to be ready. So we know when you hold the seer projector, you begin to align to it, you do your bliss bridges, and you watch for those serendipities. It's going to happen. You're going to start moving forward in that timeline. I don't know how long that takes. Nobody knows because there may be things that, are going to have to readjust in different ways. That's why I don't suggest putting a time frame on it. One key point, I suggest not saying, oh, I'm going to be moved in, and I know you haven't done this. I'm going to move into the ocean by, July 1st. Well, that would actually imply that you're not by the ocean right now. So just live that you're by the ocean right now, feeling the feeling like you're there right now. You're there right now. And then watch what comes forward. Watch what you're being called to do, called to move into, called to begin to embody. So then that version of you that is by the ocean you begin to merge with it. It's a lot.
Really nice.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot, but eventually it'll just be like, no, it's just the way it is. So, and it is. It's just the way it is. It's normal. I'm glad
Hear
you're
the
here.
waves.
What's that?
I can hear the waves.
Yes, that's
The
right.
waves
Yeah.
of the ocean. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just take a moment, like, you'll get to this where you just sit there and, you double click and you just feel the waves and the feeling, and you're just like, and then just go about your day. And you may have an idea come up. Oh, I should email that person. Oh, I should start looking at houses by the ocean. Just let me see what's available. Oh, is that for rent? Is that for sale? Oh, and you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed how this opens up. Totally, totally normal.
Brilliant.
All right, Ashling. Well, thank you,
Thank
and
you.
I'm
Thank you
glad you're
so much.
here. All right. All right, I love it. Well, we've gone about an hour and a half. I'm just gonna, if Phyllis, I know you're there. If you want to say anything, I'll give you, just time to say hi. Hi, Phyllis. I didn't want to leave you
Hi.
out.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody. I am so excited to be here. Uh, I think it was all yesterday. I got through the first 6 modules.
Oh,
And today I woke up really fired up. I'm recording an audiobook of a book that I wrote and found myself last week like unable to speak without making this sound in my mouth, like something was stopping me. And as soon as I saw your email, I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do. And so I've been working on it. I'm doing the inner work. I'm doing the outer work. I'm applying it. And this morning I was just like inspired to do something different, and it's running a lot smoother.
love it. So you created the version of yourself, kind of the scene, the image, the feeling of that version in the 4D.
Yes, my vision is 3 months out from launch day, which means I got my first royalty check and we're celebrating.
You did it perfectly. 3 months out, you're celebrating the loyalty check. Did you show the check to somebody and go, "Oh my gosh," and
Yep,
you get a hug, you get a congratulations, like the guy in the restaurant with his girlfriend or wife kissing him.
yep, with the kids, the grandkids, we go celebrate
Oh my
having ice
gosh.
cream.
Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I'm there.
I love that. Yeah, that's so awesome. I know. I have my own. Like I have one where it's 3 months from now, and I'm showing my wife like all the amazing people in the group, and we're at this restaurant, and she can't believe it, and she gives me a hug, and yeah, oh, it's beautiful. Well, you're doing it, so. And how would you not like kind of just move forward like from because you've already created this version, so now it's like it. And I know you've been flying through it, but you may find it starts pulling you. Like it starts pulling you. I have this vision of the restaurant that we're going to be at where we just, like have this scene. And I've been getting these visions like I got to go there. I just got to go there and just hang out around that area because like it's pulling me to that future timeline. It's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff. Thank you so much for creating this.
I did it for myself and for y'all and for all of us just to create something amazing and hopefully, impact a lot of lives and, help, I was talking with one of my friends and then we'll close the call off here, but he was like talking about a lot of things happening in the world. And I was like, if we as humans learn to understand how the simulation works, like we are going to be, we need to be able to learn how to do this before, in many respects, the simulation sort of like gets to the point that we forget. Like we've got to understand all this and how it works, and like this kind of ties with AI, like with all that world like being built and these simulations now kind of running where we don't know which way it's going. People are just kind of letting it run. It's like, well, what about our own AI, our own awakened intelligence? Because we're like the original, intelligence, right? We're the original ones that operate this grid and can create anything. So it's like we have to operate and create that, start operating from that awakened state. So you're doing it. So thank you for being here, Phyllis. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everyone. I'm really excited. This went better than I could have imagined. So I just want to thank all of y'all, and we're gonna post the recording. Thanks for trusting me and being here. I really appreciate y'all. It means the world to me. And even though I've done this in my life over and over again, I used every one of these methods when I was creating this program because for whatever reason it was a stretch for me. And just with my time and everything else, like I was telling Diana, don't look at the four kingdoms. I used every single thing, and I've been using this since I was literally 15 years old. So it works. I'll have more stories of some other things in my life, but y'all can do it. Keep going through everything. We're going to be a family here, all over the world, helping each other ascend and rise. And I want to thank everybody. Y'all are amazing and you rock. So we'll see y'all soon. Take care, everyone. And if you want to unmute and say goodbye, we can do that every call, but thank you for being here. Y'all are great. All right, so I don't know. Okay, we got one bye-bye there. I don't know how to unmute oh, let me see. Unmute all. Let me see if I can. Nope, I don't know if I can unmute y'all. I will figure it out. Let me see. Nope, I can't unmute everybody. I was gonna unmute all y'all, but thank you, everyone. We'll see you inside the portal, and I'm here. And if anyone has questions, let me know, and we'll see you there. We also have some live events coming. Check the calendar because we're gonna be doing this every week. Every one of you are a VIP, so we're gonna have weekly coaching. So check the calendar. All right, we'll see y'all soon. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.